Senate inquiry on nitong COVID pandemic sa basic education natin, ma'am. Can you comment on that?
Yan, hindi ko, I cannot get you clearly.
Okay. Kasi
Jen,
po si... Yes, sir.
Hindi ko get.
Nag-file po si Senator Win Gatchalian ng resolution conducting a Senate inquiry on effect of COVID-19 pandemic sa basic education, ma'am. Can you comment on that po?
Yes, we have been, Jan, we have always been in touch with Senator Win because he's a very deep interest in education. At saka, either kami ang nagko-contact sa kanya kung mayroon kaming naisipan o kailangan namin ng opinion niya. Kuminsan siya naman ang nagpapadala ng request. Lalo na mga research materials, nagpapadala siya ng request sa amin. So it's actually a very dynamic relationship na kung may kailangan siya, pinapasabi niya kaagad. O kung kami naman ay may gusto kaming ipaabot na bagong development, pinapaalam din namin sa kanya kasi nasa Committee on Education kasi siya at saka siya ang responsible sa Senate among others sa edukasyon at yung interest niya, napaka-deep ang interest niya sa education.
Bye-bye.
So okay lang yun kung magka-hearing. Dahil naman pag magpatawag ang Senado ng hearing, bukas may hearing ang Congress, ay kami naman ay magko-comply because that's also a way by which we are able to communicate what is new and how we are resolving our challenges at this time. So really, as Mons has shown, very, very tough, and si Mons pala, really quite challenging, but at the same time exciting because you think of new ways. I'd forgotten all about radio. Isip ko kaagad cellphone, isip ko TV. Nakalimutan ko yung radio na linakihan ko na ang tawag sa kanila noon, schools of the air, no? Ngayon, we are going to utilize radio as well.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much,
Okay sa atin.
John.
Okay, mag-hearing siya. Okay. Oo.
Ma'am, ang susunod na magtatanong po ay si Rida Reyes po ng GMA 7. Rida?
Yes, hi. Good morning po. Hi, Sir.
Hi.
Hello po. Actually, question lang po on the face-to-face setup on August 24. Maybe know, ma'am, kung ano po bang mga conditions or factors ang i-consider ng Deped before mapayagan ang isang eskwelahan na ipatupad yung face-to-face. Like, will it matter kung nasa high-risk area siya or kung by August ay naka-GCQ pa po ba or kung ano po yung situation ng bansa na?
It's very, very clear na ang determinant dyan is really what IATF assesses, no? Kasi doon sila ito yung committee na nag-get together ng lahat ng mga data from all the regions. Pag i-classify, definitely ECQ is out of the question. Ang GCQ probably has to be considered very, very carefully. But there are also places na zero ang levels, like Bohol, nagkaroon sila ng 2, pero ngayon under control na. You have Siquijor, hindi makayanan ng mga beings doon sa Siquijor ng COVID, zero din there are places na nagtataka sila what all the trouble is all about since wala naman silang ganong klaseng problema. But still, we have to get clearance from IATF and the DOH kasi ang DOH may minimum health safety standards sila na dapat sundin. At naman, ang standards naman nila nanggagaling sa different international organizations, pero ina-adjust namin to the conditions of the Philippines. Yung dalawa yun ang crucial. Otherwise, hindi kami talaga papayag na in a sense, mag face-to-face ang mga bata at teachers.
sa face-to-face interaction po, if mapayagan ng isang eskwelahan na ipagpatuloy itong classroom setup, ano po ang magiging part of the new normal or safety protocols that will be put in place?
Yung safety protocols will have to comply with the DOH minimum health standards. Pero ang mga bata natin, sanay na sila ng hand washing. Maybe it explains why out of you have 27 million kids, pagkatapos you only have 27 who have been COVID infected, and they got it elsewhere. And then you have 16 teachers. Kasi sanay na sila doon sa hand washing habits, yung covering your nose when you are sneezing. Ang medyo mahirap talaga yung social distancing dahil it's cultural and it's part of children-adult relationships na very very close, and it's part of the learning process talaga. And as a people, we are touching people. Maya ako nga, tinatanong ako palagi ng mga friends ko, how many hands did you hold today? Kasi I'm used to holding hands and to making akbay and all that, no? And many of us are like, that's the difficult part, the social distancing. The other requirements of the Department of Health, kailangan may doktor ka, saka kailangan malinis and everything. Mako-comply mo yan. And this is where we need the help of the brigada, eskwela, donors, and adherents. No? I-shift nila, i-tweak nila yung kanilang forms of giving. Dati, iba naman, no? Mga school bags usually yan, at saka mga kortina, mga pintura, but this time we'll be asking for more cleansing material instead of the usual brooms. Iba na siguro. So babaguhin yan lahat. So, everybody has to come in, hindi lang ito Deped. Oo.
Sec, si Senator Gatchalian po ulit, sinabi niya na kung magtutuloy yung face-to-face interaction, dapat daw may budget ang mga eskwelahan to provide for face masks, disinfection, and even sana ma-maintain yung malimit to 15 to 20 students per classroom. Is that achievable po?
Well, we are aware of that, no? Kasi requirement talaga yun sa face-to-face. Although ang thinking ko, the way I look at it, ang face-to-face, when we start in August, hindi naman siya nationwide. So siguro makayanan yung requirements for masks kasi marami ng donations. Actually, mayroon nang nag-start na mag-donate. Ang layo pa ng August, may nag-donate na ng mga face mask, yung mga N95 types na face masks, mga vitamins, etc. para ma-protect ang mga bata. Pero sa tingin ko, hindi siguro, ako lang, I'm just speaking from the top of my head, no? Dahil the numbers are not very clear yet, na kung ilang face-to-face ang magagawa. Depends on a month-to-month, day-to-day basis. Kaya practically every day nagmi-meet ang IATF and the numbers change. At saka sometimes there are surprises, like Cebu, like Zamboanga, na maso-surprise ka. And especially now that these are not children, these are our OFWs who are coming home. So we have to also see to it that they are safe, so that the homes and the children that they're coming home to will also be safe. So itong mga yan, all of this will have to be taken into consideration. Pero tama, that's a very sensible thing. Tama yan si Senator Gatchalian. The thing is, paghandaan. And some donors are already thinking along those lines. Yan ang mga iniisip nilang i-contribute to the learning system.
Last question na lamang po. Yung dun po sa e-learning naman, how do we expect yung population po natin ng mga kabataan na wala po talaga silang knowledge on e-learning, on the use of internet, na makakup kagad doon sa kaalaman kung paano gumamit ng mga equipment, device tungkol dito sa e-learning?
Actually, you'll be surprised kasi ang general belief is public education is inferior and other forms of educations are superior. But that is not so anymore. Hindi naman ganyan. And as I said kanina, even before COVID, we already organized a futures group, not in terms of the next election or the next administration. No, what, how education will be like and what kind of people we are going to nurture. Maybe when they are 30 years older, 50 years older, anong klaseng society ang i-build natin? And that will inform the content of what we teach at this time. So, hindi naman totally behind the times because you already have 20th century classrooms, 21st century classrooms, even before COVID. At the time that COVID landed in the country and it became a source of talaga leading to the pandemic, I was in Abra and I was observing children being taught how to use their tablets in a barrio school. Oo. So, hindi ganon ka, I would say, ka behind ang mga ano ngayon. Kasi, ang bilis matuto ng mga bata. And this is why we also want to upskill the teachers. Ang daling maturuan ang mga bata. They have this courage, this bravery to try new things, which sometimes adults are afraid of doing. So we have been winning, contests, international contests in science, in invention. Ang ating senior high school kids are doing very well. We join math contests and all sorts of activities. Unfortunately, hindi na yan pwede ngayon. Oo. Kaya itong window natin na tatlong buwan, we want to use them up in upgrading not only our learners but also upskilling our teachers, kasi lalo na kung may access sila sa platform na Deped Commons. I said there are already 6 million of them in a matter of about less than a month, no, na nag-access. International pa yung nag-access na ibang mga parents, no? So the assumption that dito lang tayo sa mga urban-based places, alam na when you have a parent, you have a mother working in Dubai or a father working in Europe, siyempre, if you are a child, you learn how to use communications because your father in Dubai will see to it that you will have your mother in Europe, maski la bandera siya, will see to it that you have all these gadgets. Di la bandera monitors her husband, who probably is a driver in Saudi Arabia, na monitor niya. I must confess that those in my household, it's not, ang pinakamahusay hindi naman ang Secretary of Education sa household ng Secretary of Education. It's the house personalities who are very much faster dahil they're communicating internationally. Ayun. So, that's why we have to cope.
Ma'am,
and we
pwede
cannot cope by ourselves.
Teacher, ma'am. Pwede
Present ka ba?
Practice na po tayo for the online classroom. This is how it will be. So that the students will also, raise their hand and then interact with the teacher. So ma'am, idagdag ko lang na yung learning continuity plan is a framework. Ito po ay parang menu, choices of delivery methods that the school can adapt or practice and implement. So, magkakaroon po ng flexibility ang mga division and regional offices namin to plan their own delivery approach. So, very important yung question ni Rida. Ang magiging contextualization or choice ng mga eskwelahan will depend on the local public health situation. So, definitely kung sa locality ay hindi po pwede ang face-to-face, huwag nang piliin yung delivery mode na yon. But there are other blended, distance, and other techniques. So, pipiliin po nila, unang-una, depende sa public health situation. At pangalawa, sa capacity nila. Capacity also means, do they have the Wi-Fi connection available? Are the facilities and gadget and equipment available? Are teachers already trained, oriented? So kung ang sagot ay hindi, wag po tayo dun sa online learning. We now go to the learning modules and the learning packets. So, para pareho pa rin nung nakapila o yung nahahawakan, yun na lang, hindi pupunta sa eskwelahan. Mayroon po tayong gagawin na paraan, kagaya rin na sinabi ni Secretary, kung i-allow na ang normal situation, hindi rin po pwedeng sabay-sabay papasok ang lahat. Magkakaroon din ng staggered scheduling and smaller size classroom teacher to student ratio. Kasi ang isa pa rin sa sinabi kanina ni Secretary Briones, ang new normal will be the minimum health standard and protocol. Yan po ay kagaya ng mga nasa skeleton workforce ng gobyerno, pumapasok sila pero nakamask, may PPE, lalo na sa eskwelahan, gagawin din yan. Pero hindi po natin gagawin ng isang bagsakan or sabay-sabay, kaya yung pong fear and apprehension ng ating mga magulang at ng mga komunidad ay ating pong open our mind, hindi namin sinasabing sabay-sabay ay normal tayo ulit, babalik. Mangyayari po ay contextualization and choice of the framework. Ang amin pong ginawa ay i-ready sa inyo kung ano yung pwede yung pagpilian. At yan po yung in-explain kanina ni Secretary. Hindi pa po siya detalyado. At alam ko yung mga questions ninyo are very valid and very important. Kaya nga po ginagawa ni Secretary na kami ay nagkakaroon ng meeting virtually with all the regional directors and all the superintendents. Kaya rin po maaga yung enrollment na sinasabi. In fact, hindi po yun yung totoong enrollment. The enrollment happened in January, February. Yung June po is actually the additional enrollees or the transferees. Kasi nga, marami po nangyari ngayon. May mga bumalik sa probinsya, may mga na-stranded sa mga lugar, yung mga OFW umuwi na. So may mga adjustment. Ito po yung mangyayari sa aming Oplan Balik Eskwela. At yung minention ni Yusek Nepo, very important, we will also do the initial survey. Kasi doon na malalaman yung capacity ng locality. Kaya ba nila mag-online? Will they do blended learning? Or will they resort to the learning modules and the learning packets?
Yusek Nepo?
Yeah.
Yusek Nepo.
Idagdag ko lang na yung mga sinabi na pagbalik sa eskwelahan kanina, yung standards na binabanggit ni Secretary, yung minimum health standards that will be implemented in schools to ensure that they are ready to safely receive all our students, both physically and while they are in school, ay hindi ito parang plano na pinag-iisipan lamang kung hindi nakabatay ito doon sa halimbawa yung inilabas ng Department of Health guidelines on the risk-based public health standards for COVID-19 dun sa kanyang AO 2020-0015. And apat yung bahagi nun. Yung una ay yung pagpapalakas ng physical and mental resilience ng mga bata at saka ng mga guro. Yung pag-reduce ng transmission. Pangatlo ay yung pag-reduce ng contact, so doon kasama yung physical distancing, at yung pag-reduce ng direction of infection. At very detailed yung standards doon na dapat ay ma-comply ng hindi lamang ng pampublikong mga paaralan, pampribadong paaralan, pero lahat ng establishments and sectors, at kaya lahat sila ay pinagsasubmit. At nakapaloob yun dun sa learning continuity plan, pero maglalabas din yung department ng specific guidelines or department memo or department order specifying this. Hindi lamang yung gabay nung DOH ang tiningnan namin, pero tiningnan din halimbawa namin a lot of literature. Halimbawa yung Center for Disease Control and Prevention has ang US ay mayroong guidance, administrative guidance to schools to plan, prepare, and respond to coronavirus disease. Gayon din yung UNESCO ay may tinignan din kami mga publications nila looking at and highlighting the health and safety measures as key guarantees for safe back to school of teachers and learners. Ganun din yung nabanggit ni Secretary kanina, yung publication ng Johns Hopkins was actually a guidance for governors on the phased reopening of all institutions including schools in light of COVID. Yung UNESCO re-release lang yan ng framework for reopening of schools. So lahat yan ay nagiging batayan para i-push into a guidance and guidelines for our schools to comply with. And so even in the yung kung magbubukas yung mga private schools outside of the date that was prescribed by Deped for public schools, ay kailangan silang mag-submit nitong kanilang compliance to minimum health standards. So that is an assurance that the department will make that the schools will be safe both physically when they receive the students and during their stay in the schools. In fact, si Secretary lagi niyang ine-emphasize na hindi magkakasya na in the schools lang because sometimes they are protected inside the schools pero pag uwi naman in their transportation and in their home settings, baka doon naman sila unprotected. So, in the light of COVID, you must maintain the minimum health standards everywhere, whether at home, on travel, or in schools 24/7. That's the only thing that will guarantee the minimization of transmission and outbreaks.
All right.
Thank you, Yusek. Thanks po, Sec.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Rida. Ang susunod pong magtatanong ay si Jasmine ng ABS-CBN. Jasmine?
Good morning po sa inyong lahat, Secretary, mga Yusek.
Hi. Miss ka na namin.
I'm just here, Secretary. Question ko is...
Na-miss ka namin sa last press conference. Sige.
Opo. Anyway,
but you stayed behind ata. Sige. Okay. Di kita rinig.
Hello?
Ayan.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah.
First question, some students heavily rely on the feeding program. Since meron na po tayong mga ganitong klaseng measures, mga flexible learning, paano na po mag-a-adjust ang DepEd dito?
Yung mga feeding and other nutritional activities sa mga at the barangay levels, they have this practice of distributing grocery bags, and then also mga private sector supporters. Ang dami-dami niya na inaano, but it has to be well organized, of course, but these are organized by the LGUs. Sa atin sa Deped, we can only have virtual feeding. You imagine, bigyan ka ng picture ng pagkain na ito kinakain mo, lalong gugutumin yung bata niyan. So usually direct feeding programs ngayon ang nangyayari at the level of barangays, local government units. And ayun ang nangyayari dahil kung virtual, hindi naman talaga namin makakayanang mag-feed sa mga bata in that way.
Ibig sabihin po, ma'am, matutuloy lang po yung feeding program in schools where it is allowed.
Yes. Where face-to-face is allowed. Patuloy pa din yun. Ang preferred nga namin, noon ko pa yan ulit-ulit na sinasabi na mas gusto noon ni dating Secretary of the Budget na lahat na bata. Hindi lang yung undernourished, malnourished, tapos they have their feeding program kasi magkaroon ka ng status complications. Yung ibang bata nahihiya silang magiging bahagi ng feeding program dahil ibig sabihin poor sila, ibig sabihin payat sila, ibig sabihin sakitin sila. Oo, at saka medyo naiinggit din sila sa ibang mga bata na may sariling baonan, etc. Kaya nga sabi, mabuti pa na lahat talagang bata, yun ang isasali sa feeding program. Kasi yung iba, lumalayas talaga, hindi sila nagpa-participate na ibang mga bata dahil nahihiya sila na ganun ang estado nila. Kasi always hunger is associated with poverty. So mga poor sila, mga payat, mga sakitin. So binibigyan ng reverse reverse impacts yan. Kala natin we make them feel na inaalagaan sila, pero sila naman ang feeling nila na I've talked to children na ganun tinatanong ko, ba't hindi ka sumasali? Nahiya sila. Kasi para silang mga poor na kailang pakainin. And that's not good for a child's self-esteem.
Pwedeng magdagdag, Jasmine. Ang alam ko ay bukas ay may meeting yung mga regional directors at saka yung school health at saka yung aming assistant secretary sa administration para pag-usapan nga itong school-based feeding. Kung alalahanin natin, isa yan sa mga protected measures doon sa Bayanihan Act. At marahil pag mapag-usapan bukas kung may iba pa bang forma ng school-based feeding bukod doon sa in-school lamang. So, hindi pa natin alam yung magiging resulta noon. Hinihintay din natin yung input noong admin kung magkakaroon sila ng adjustments to how the school-based feeding program. Kasi siguro may ang kadahilanan ng bayanihan na kung bakit protected expenditure ito ay dahil isa rin itong forma ng social amelioration. So siguro medyo may pagkakataon pa naman at ang alam ko nga ay bukas ay mag-meeting sila with the regional directors upang magharap yung admin ng kung paano nila propose na implement itong school-based feeding program in the context where distance learning might be a major modality and not face-to-face. Thank you.
At saka alam mo, mayroon akong lesson na natutunan nito kasi sometimes adults demand, pakainin mo ako, bigyan mo ako ng grocery, bigyan mo ako ng pera dahil ako ay mahirap, dahil ako ay walay trabaho. Pero mukhang iba din yung behavioral response ng mga bata. Pag sasabihin mong pinapakain sila, dahil sila ay poor, yung self-esteem nila medyo nadadamage. Saka nahihiya silang aaminin na hinihiwalay sila tuwing feeding time para pakainin. Siguro magkaiba ang epekto sa bata at saka sa some adults, no? Yung adults, give me food, I demand food, I demand money because I am poor. It's your duty to take care of me. But for a child who's trying to get along with classmates and integrating, to be treated separately and to be fed separately, kikita niya yung baonan ng kanyang mga classmate, iba yung effect. Kinakahiya nila na sila they have to be treated differently. Pero siguro sa adults naman, iba naman ang some adults, iba naman ang kanilang expectation. So I think that's something that I have learned in my experience in Deped. We have to be mindful of how children react to how we are treated. May nakausap akong bata, hindi na siya pumapasok. Bakit hindi ka pumapasok? Kasi nahihiya siya na pinapakain siya. At saka yung ibang classmates niya, hindi naman pinapakain. Yung status niya, medyo siguro kung paglaki niya, baka maka-acquire rin siya ng ibang perspective na, hoy, duty mong pakainin mo ako. Huwag mo akong pagutumin. Pero getting along in school with classmates, lalo na kung mayroon kang kaibigan na gusto mong i-impress, medyo yan, sa tingin ko, medyo may effect. Yun, I will not say harmful. So that's very interesting. Thank you, Jasmine. Dagdag ko lang na impormasyon.
Meron pa pong isang question, Secretary. Several weeks ago, Deped has released a survey for the stakeholders to ask about the adjustments needed to be made for the flexible learning methods. Ano na po ang resulta ng survey na ito?
Ma'am, wala pong sound?
Ma'am, wala pong audio.
Yung ang focus ng survey is really to find out kung anong response ng public to the proposed opening of schools. Tapos nagtanong din kami ng iba, may agam-agam tungkol sa mga other ways of teaching, other ways of transmitting learning. Pero gusto na naming tapusin yan, Jasmine, kasi gusto na natin magtrabaho na mayroon tayong tinatanaw na sinasabi natin kung August 24, lahat na dapat magawa natin, gawin natin by August 24. Kasi kaysa walang patuloy na consultation, patuloy na tanong, na iba't iba naman ang mga sagot. Pero ang lumabas talaga, of course, is August. Level sa mga partners, there are more than 100 partner institutions and experts, level sa Exicom, sa Mancom, and the larger of the public. Ang tendency is to be as late as possible within the boundaries of the law. So yun ang for us, especially with the approval of IATF, tapos na yung issue about opening. Kung may mangyari pang iba, we will adjust. Pero at least, yun ang tinatanaw natin na goal. We cannot be continuously be undecided. I know I'm a Libran. Libran always weighs everything for deciding. But this is an instance where we really have to have a more or less a specific goal in mind na yun ang patutunguhan. Kung may mangyari, di mag-adjust. But otherwise, yun ang pinaka-framework. 4 na levels ang testing ito eh. Yes.
Last question na lamang po, Secretary. A lot of parents are feeling very anxious about the school opening and some have expressed na baka hindi nila kayanin ang ganitong klaseng setup with several factors such as nagtatrabaho ang parehong magulang, ang magulang hindi masyadong madunong, mas matalino pa yung mga bata, lack of gadgets, lack of accessibility, and so on. Ano po siguro ang mensahe po ninyo sa mga magulang na ganito?
Ang mensahe ko, we would like to assure the parents that we are doing all we can and we are aware of their anxiety, of their worries, because we are also undergoing the same levels of anxiety. Lahat naman tayo, we're all in the same boat, but we're doing all we can in the realm of the possible, kasi hindi naman pwedeng give up, wag na lang, next year na lang tayo magklase. Pero mahirap imaginin anong mangyayari sa mga bata natin kung tigilan natin ang learning process because we are afraid. And I believe, ito yung sinasabi ko din sa teachers natin na halimbawa, yung ating subjects kasi, yung learning competencies na tinatawag, we started 2016 pa, sinasabihan na tayo ng mga parents, ng mga experts. Sobrang dami yung learning competencies. More than 10,000 learning competencies, especially at the senior high school level na kailangan masterin ng bata yan. Ngayon, we have reduced it to 4,000. Yung pinaka-importante. Ang importante dito, yes, Hasmin, sa aking tingin, being an oldie, being an elderly, pinaka-importante is to teach courage, to teach hope, to accept change. That is in the law already. Wala pang COVID, nagsasabi na acceptance of change. And to be, as I was saying, to be analytical, critical thinking. Yun ang pinaka-apat yun communications, critical thinking, and so on and so forth na dapat ituturo sa bata. Kasi knowledge will change. Knowledge will change every day. Hindi mo makapa yung lahat ng mga pagbabago ng knowledge. Pero the courage to face these changes together, at kaya nga sinabi ko sa isang statement ko na the child has to be taught na ayan, maraming dangers, nakakatakot si COVID, parang monster na naghihintay sa iyo para kakainin ka. Ang daming bagong kailangan to learn and all that. But hindi naman sila pabayaan ng teacher, hindi naman sila pabayaan ng parents, hindi naman sila pabayaan ng community, hindi sila pabayaan ng Diyos. Oo. To be courageous, to be brave, to be hopeful, to be excited. I think if we are able to instill that in our learners, that would be a great thing. You can teach 10,000 competences, but if you teach anxiety, if you teach fear, if you teach insecurity, and you are so fearful but that you cannot move anymore, let's just wait for this thing to blow over. But we don't know when this thing will blow over. So in the meantime, you cannot have 9 months of idle children being, restrained in their homes. You cannot imagine if you have 3 or 4 children of different ages, and then you have the lolos and the lolas also around, and making them stay at home and having no classes, no learning at all, because we are afraid. So we have to work around that fear, which we also share. I am afraid. I cannot sleep at night thinking, because we are responsible for 27 million children. But we have to move. There is no, there is no alternative, as I said. But to have a goal. Hindi kagaya ng problem ng algebra na isosolve mo lang yung how much is x or how much is y, how much is z. Ilang unknowns lang yan. Pero dito isang katutak na unknowns. And all of you have very thoughtfully brought them all out. Itong lahat ng mga sinasabi ninyo, unknowns ito eh. pero we have to try to anticipate them and see how we can respond best. And this is where you come in. Hindi lang kami na nagsosolo-solo. Oo.
Ma'am, ulit. Recite ulit, ma'am.
Anong recite?
Oo, ma'am, kasi
Recite ka. O sige, present ka na nga eh.
related ulit, ma'am, doon sa sinabi ninyo na this is a good opportunity for the competencies. So, 4 po yun. Dudugtungan ko yung sinabi ni ma'am, creativity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration.
Collaboration.
Yes, collaboration is actually what we are doing. That's the bayanihan. Communication is including technology, but of course we know capacity is not equal to all. But at least, kaya pa rin natin mag-communicate kahit wala yung technology, but we will prepare them for that. Creativity and critical thinking, this is the best time to teach our learners how to do it. And isa na lang siguro, ma'am, kasama doon sa learning continuity plan is that ang atin lang pong itatouch na competencies ay yung most essential learning competencies. Hindi po natin, wag po nilang i-expect na lahat ng subject na kinukuha under the face-to-face interaction will be covered in this alternative delivery mode. Magkakaroon po ng issuance, guidelines ng ating curriculum and instruction kung ano yung most essential learning competency. At syempre, iikli po yung time, yung even the attention span ng bata. Yung kaya lang natin na ma-supervise and ma-monitor through a teacher or through a guardian and parent is really limited. But we have to think that this is education in emergencies. So during this time, limited ang time, limited din yung competencies ng ating papa-aral or ang scope ng ating ilalagay sa mga modules. Pero ito po yung most essential. At yung po sinabi na ni Secretary, napakaganda na sinabi niya. Ulitin natin, creativity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration. It can be done, it can be taught to the learners even at times ng ganito po na may emergency. Yun po, ma'am. 3 recitation na ako.
Oh, check ka na. Present. At saka naka-recite na. Oo.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
June.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. Ma'am, since 18,000 po yung nakapanood ngayon sa Deped Philippines, may mga questions po dito. Dalawa lang po, ma'am. Yung question po ni Doris Bayugo, will you give the mandate to the school to determine the number of hours of face-to-face interaction between teacher and students and the home study or distance learning, ma'am? Yan po yung tanong ng isa sa mga teacher natin dito. Nakasabay-bay.
Sa palagay ko, mayroon tayong broad guidelines dyan na ibibigay. Kasi pag ganon, pag hayaan nating kanya-kanyang baka iba't ibang impacts din, iba't ibang effects din sa mga learners natin. Kasi at the end of the day, yung mga bata, lahat magte-take naman ng exam. So, kung alam ng mga schools at alam naman nila kung anong hinahanap sa ating mga assessment examinations, anong importante, then mag-focus sila doon. Kaya yung overall learning continuity plan natin, kailangan kabisaduhan yan ng lahat para kung ano yung adjustments na gagawin niya will be within the framework of our overall learning continuity plan. Kung anong klaseng competencies ang kailangang i-develop sa bata, kung anong klaseng, as I said, mga attitudes, values ang ituturo natin. Halimbawa sa ating school calendar, the first week will be most likely devoted to psychosocial mentoring para mahanda yung mga bata and also in the process the teachers na iba na ito ngayon. This is different but they are special. That's why they are special, because they are different and they're going to be learning in a different way. So kailangan talagang ipaliwanag yun sa mga bata. At saka yung challenge nga ni Jasmine, sa classroom, tayo ang nagde-determine kung anong ituturo as a teacher, anong dapat gawin ng teacher. Pero yung pag-communicate with the parents and the lolos and the lolas and the mentors at home, outside of the classroom, that is where we really need help to communicate all these new ways of learning delivery. And I myself, if they're afraid, I am also afraid. And because I also have a grandchild, takot din ako. Pero that is what life is all about, to face your fears, to face your anxieties, to find ways of dealing with all of these things. And we have to train the children how to handle these changes. Yung sinasabi sa batas na acceptance of change. Ang hirap mag-accept ng change. Lalo na sa mga mature people, ang hirap kung baguhin mo lang yung location lang ng kama, yung position ng table, yung pagsara ng bintana, o buksan ba yung bintana. Malaking bagay yun na may mga nakasanayan na tayong pamamaraan, no? Pero, ito, it's a whole new world. Iba, it's a whole new normal. And this is it. We have to live with it as best as we can. And I have every confidence that we will succeed.
Thank you, ma'am. Last online question po before we go to Laila. How about daw po yung mga teachers who are included as high risk, yung mga may hypertension, diabetic, pregnant, or advised to stay home? Will they be given consideration po not to have face-to-face class?
Kailangan yan i-discuss with the principals kasi ang mga principal superintendents alam yung individual cases ng mga teachers. At saka nasa kultura natin yan. These are things we don't want. I personally don't want to let go of yung not only being human but also being humane, no? So, usually, alam ko na we normally give considerations for the conditions of teachers, di ba? Alam naman natin na halimbawa, may high blood pressure, bakit natin patayuin sa init ng ilang oras diyan kung face-to-face man? Alam natin na diabetic, bakit palagi tayo nagsiserve ng mga sweet na pagkain? At saka alam natin na overall, we have aging teachers, bakit hindi natin i-impose talaga na require the physical examination, yung annual, yung mga ganon, those are individual cases which should be taken care of at the level of the school. Dahil alam nila naman ang mga conditions ng mga teachers. Also, you have ang alam ko, ang mga halimbawa, you have principals organizations, you have supervisors organizations, and superintendents organizations, RDs organizations. More or less, they take care of each other. And at the level of Deped also, if there are teachers who really are injured or need assistance in line of duty, then we do our best. We try to also generate help from outside. That is what we do not want to lose. Ayaw natin yan. Minsan, nalalaman na lang natin tapos na. May nagawa na at the level of the school, at the level of the region. Halimbawa, yung mga COVID victims, hindi naman sila tumakbo sa central office eh. At the regional level, they took care of those who were ill. Sana hindi natin yan walain. Dahil new normal na tayo, the new normal that we should have would be, I said, an even more humane new normal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, ang susunod na magtatanong po ay si Laila Chicadora ng TV5. Laila?
Yes, Laila.
Good afternoon, teachers. Good afternoon, classmates. Ma'am, ano po yung essential subjects na tinatawag natin? And syempre, wala na tayong PE, wala na ring HE. Kapag po ganon, paano po yung grading system? Non-applicable o pasado na po ba siya? Paano po yung grading system sa mga yon, ma'am?
Mayroong move sa Senado na todo pasa, no? Dahil unusual ang situation ngayon, pass everybody. That was proposed as early as March, and we have strongly opposed that because we do not have a policy of passing everybody. That's not fair to those who study, those who do the assignments, kasi there might be those who will also think na anyway papasa naman ako. I don't agree with that. We will have to evolve. And kami naka-adjust kami doon kung paano mag-compute ng grado. We came out with a formula na which we believe is also fair and which will be a basis for determining if a child deserves to pass or not. Pero yung todo pasa, I'm sorry, I would not really advise that. Oo. Parang wala nang value yung pag-aaral mo kasi anyway papasa ka naman eh. Oo. Saka pag halimbawa maghanap ka ng trabaho, sasabihin mo high school graduate ka or elementary graduate, wala nang value yung pagka-high school graduate mo because you are just like any other high school graduate. Pareho lang naman kayo lahat. So, how do you differentiate? No? So, ayun, hindi pa rin ako kami sang-ayon dyan. So, right now, I'm very sure, considering how hard our curriculum people work together with our USEX, they can work out a formula for determining whether a child deserves to move on to the next level of grade or not. So, maano naman yan, yung panahon nga ng gera, na-determine nila ngayon pa kaya. Oo. With all our advances in education.
Paano po ma'am yung PE and HE? Those are not considered as essential subjects po.
Sige, si Yusek. Parang narinig ko yung boses ni Yusek Nepo.
Yusek
Yes,
Nepo.
ma'am. Meron inilabas, hindi pa lang sinasa publiko pero binigay na sa mga regional directors namin. Yung binabanggit ni Secretary na from 10,000 learning competencies ay na-reduce to about 4,000 learning competencies. These are across learning areas and across grade levels. At hindi ito ginagawa ngayon lamang kung hindi parte ito ng produkto ng curriculum review na dinirect na ni Secretary almost 2 years ago. Kaya nga naging madali dun sa Bureau of Curriculum Development na i-compress ang curriculum to the most essential competencies ay may mga pag-aaral na sila na ginawa. So, yung mga overlaps, yung mga unnecessary competencies, yung pwedeng emerge, yun yung ginawa nila at imamap doon yung mga learning resources at i-orient yung mga guro paano ituturo. Doon din gagawin yung mga self-learning activities at home, kung distance learning, at may assessment tools din na gagamitin sila para makapagbigay ng grado. Siguro yung tinatanong mo ay yung sa physical aspect ng PE. At actually, yan namang physical aspect ay maaaring gawin din sa bahay. Hindi yan kailangan necessarily ay nasa loob ng eskwelahan. So, ang nakita ko ay sa inilabas ng curriculum and instruction ay saklaw lahat ng learning areas, all grade levels. Ang hindi na lamang nila patapos dun sa nakita ko ay yung PBL sa senior high school kasi yun talaga ay kailangang may component na nasa workshop, yung mga tech students for some of the tech walk track. Pero I'm sure na sabi nga ni Secretary, they're working the whole time to address this. So lahat ay covered pa rin ng mga asignatura. Pinompress, pinaigsin, tinanggal yung mga overlaps in the learning competencies in what is called most essential learning competencies. Thank you.
Okay po. Ma'ams and sirs, kung sa TV and radio yung education natin, yung mode of education, and this will be on a national scale, magkakaroon po ba tayo ng regional? Kasi ang iniisip ko, baka magkaroon din tayo ng language barrier kung yung gagamitin nating language, like for example, kung puro Filipino lang or puro English, mas okay po ba kung kapag regional yung language is local din?
Of course, kasi mayroon tayong batas na from kinder to grade 3, mother tongue eh. So it has to be in the language of the area. At saka may mga materials na na-develop. But this have to be adjusted para magamit sa television. Kasi ibang format ang TV, ibang format din ang radio. The thing is, may mga groups na may experience dyan. Wala sila sa Deped, hindi sila lahat taga Deped, no? Pero they're doing this TV programs, radio programs since forever, and experiensyado na sila kung paano i-progress yung teaching process. Pero yung language, that's covered by the language policy. Ang starting po sa English is grade 4. Kinder to grade 3, it's the mother tongue. Tama ka, mas mahirapan silang mag-adjust kung diretso ka agad sa English ba o national language. So yun.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, kailan po ulit yung enrollment for transferees and late enrollees? And pwede po bang mag-enroll yung mga private school students sa public school since nagkaroon din tayo ng malaking financial crisis, yung ibang mga parents hindi na rin kakayanin na makapag-enroll sa mga private schools for the next school year, ma'am?
Well, that happens every year na may migration. Mayroon namang galing sa public school, lilipat sa private, may galing sa private, lilipat sa public, and that depends, I think, I believe on the availability of space. Kasi may mga preferred schools, any parent or any mother or lola is very particular about the school that his or her child enters. So, kailangan yan, depende sa availability ng space. So, sasabihin sa iyo na, ay wala ng space dito, we suggest you go to this kind of school. Ang isa ding consideration yan is convenience also, yung malapit sa bahay para hindi na mamamasahe. Most children go to the schools nearest their homes dahil marami sa kanila naglalakad lang o nagta-tricycle. So, ito lahat have to be taken into consideration. And yun nga ang isang observation yan sa TWG ng IETF na there might be a migration of children from private schools to public schools because of the as an impact of the economic crisis, no. Pero ayun, yung capacity din ng public school to absorb them has to be considered kasi I said, there are preferred schools also. Mayroong gusto ng parents na saan na public school sila pupunta o hindi. Kaya this is where the queuing comes in. As early as January, nag-umpisa na tayo. June 1 to 30 is for those who want to transfer and gustong humabol. Titingnan kung ma-accommodate ba o hindi. And I'm sure it's going to be quite tough, no? Kung magiging totoo itong projection ng NEDA TWG group na baka magkaroon ng migration, and we have to consider all these factors.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, question tungkol po sa tuition fees ng private school. Maaari po bang mas bababa yung mga tuition fees for private school since lessening maintenance, wala na mga miscellaneous, yung mga bata more on nasa bahay na sila on several days of the school year? Saklaw po ba ng DepEd yun, ma'am?
Ang nag-approve niya na would be at the level of the regional director. Pero for increase in tuition fee. Yung decrease in tuition fee, that's their decision nila yon. And usually, ina-advertise nila yan. And to attract, na-attract naman yung mga students and their parents. So, decision nila yon. No problem of reduction of tuition fee. Ang medyo may challenge is yung kung i-increase because it has to be approved and reviewed. Dahil the law says that 70% of any increase in tuition fee has to go to the salaries of teachers. Oo, mayroong ganong klaseng provision. So, re-reviewin yan. Pero pag reduction, well, that's a decision that the school owners make usually.
Okay. Ma'am, yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Leila. Okay.
Sige po. Last question na po. Para sa mga teachers po na gagamitin yung mode of online learning, are you considering internet allowance? Kasi kung magiging online po yung mga teachers natin, when they are at home, syempre hindi naman po free yung ating wifi. Bibili rin sila ng load or magpapakabit sila ng connection. Are we considering additional allowances for our teachers regarding that?
Alam mo, Day, mayroon silang allowance for chalk, which has been increased, no? And maybe the expenses for chalk can be used for other necessary, yung sinabi mo, mga fees. But we have negotiated also with the two telcos na libre ang paggamit ng mga users ng halimbawa sa Deped Commons, paggamit ng Deped Commons, nag-commit na sila na hindi nila pababayaran yon. So, mas fair naman ang teachers. But as I said, I'm just talking from the top of my head na there has been an increase in the chalk allowance, no? And we all know that hindi naman ngayon also ang chalk. It's also bad for the health and those with asthma. Oo. So, pwede siguro tingnan yan para mabigyan naman ng magiging realistic naman yung kanilang expenses. Kasi mga school, and besides may MOE naman. Ang MOE is the maintenance and operating expenditures of schools which are held by the principal, no? May pera sila at their level kasi binibigyan sila ng autonomy to spend as they wish. So yung mga paggagamit ng supplies, hindi naman siguro gamit ng papel at saka yung sinasabi nila, binibigyan sila ng ilang pirasong ballpen, baka yung ballpen na bibigay, load na. Yung mga ganon, kasi mayroon naman talagang MOE expenses, mayroon chalk allowance na pwedeng intended for school use na pwede namang magamit nila for the new normal.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Yan. Thank you.
Thank you,
Good
Laila.
questions.
Before we proceed kay Ina, may mga comment po dito. Sabi ni Mary Annalyn Valenzuela Miguel, one of our online followers.
EJ.
Accept changes, live with it as best as we can. Essential learning daw, yung 4Cs daw, ay napaka-importante. Thank you very much, Secretary Briones. And then, God bless you, Secretary Briones, and the press from Marilu Del Moro. Ma'am, last na po, si Ina. Ina?
Focus.
Hello.
Hi. Saan na? Hindi ko makita. I cannot see your face.
Ayan na po. Nakasingit na din.
Baka bagong mukha
Hello
na
po.
naman. Iba na naman ang buhok.
Hindi po. Ma'am, follow up lang po on the enrollment procedure kasi meron po tayong documentary requirements, especially for the incoming kinder, grade 1, grade 10, grade 11 students. Since we're in an emergency, mawi-waive po ba tong documentary requirements na to?
Siguro si Yusek Lepo dahil siya ang abogado, pwede siyang sumagot niyan. Ang perspective yan ng parents, ha, Lepo?
Motion to postpone, ma'am.
Ready yung abogado, ma'am.
Motion to reset to a later date. Ilalabas yung well, una, pagka naman within the same school ay ang records ay are with the school. So ang kailangan namin talagang malaman ngayon at bukod dyan natatrack naman namin through the LIS. So kung may mga transferees, doon tayo magkakaroon ng mga ibig sabihin ang mga decision on whether we will defer the submission of some of the credentials. And the Department of Education has done that many times already in the context of emergencies, whether it was in Marawi, dito sa Taal, and so on, kung kinakailangan. Pero ibig sabihin, very crucial yung magiging outcome ng ating initial response to the enrollment rollout in June 1 to June 30. So it will be included in the very broadly in the what you call this, the school calendar memo, but there will be a separate memorandum for the enrollment that will include the details that you say. Pero tingin ko ngayon premature pa to talk about the presence or absence of credentials and waiving that. But the Deped has done that in many instances already based on the situation.
Thank you, Nepo. I was about to say that we have precedents. Pero ito mga for short periods lang, like Marawi, how many months? They allow the kids to enroll without documentation, Taal, and all that. Pero ito ngayon, they are not sure how long this pandemic will last. So that is a consideration. Pero dapat magandang question yan kasi dapat pag-isipan natin yan kung complete o incomplete ang documents, tanggapin pa rin natin yung bata. Oo. Pero may precedents. Definitely may precedents.
Ma'am, nag-start na po yung summer classes today and also meron pong mga estudyante na hindi pa nila natatanggap yung mga final grades nila and report cards nila. So, paano po ba yung directive natin sa teachers kung paano yung pagbibigay ng grades dun sa mga bata? Kasi they wouldn't know kung na-promote sila or kailangan nilang mag-take ng summer classes.
Well, that is a good reminder to us kasi mayroon naman tayo, 'di ba, Nepoan sa ating school calendar yung pag-submit ng report of grades. Kung wala pa silang
yes,
grades, then dapat i-verify natin kung bakit wala pa silang grades. Or baka mga incomplete yan. Usually ang problemado yung mga incompletes na hindi nakaka-comply with the requirements. So wala silang grado. Ano po?
Yeah, siguro dun yan sa remediation guidelines, nabanggit mo na yan na in-issue ng Deped recently. And actually, sa totoo, ang talagang focus ng paghahanda ng Department of Education ay sa pagbukas ng school year sa August 24. At I'm sure that we will, kung hindi man mahabol yung mga remediation classes, dahil ang problema nga ngayon is yung distance learning na mas malaki at part of that ay dito pa talaga binabalangkas, kaya nga inatras to August 24. And so even the remediation that is being done is not going to be done in the usual na meron silang face-to-face. So baka meron tayong mga areas na hindi pa ganong handa dyan. So kung hindi umabot dito sa summer na ito ay maaring ma-carry over yan. May 2 buwan pa naman tayo ng June and July. So ibig sabihin, ito naman ay dun sa mga bata na nagkaroon ng problema nung bagsak na ng mga subjects, and we hope ay hindi naman ganun marami yan. But you're correct, because of the parang ito yung mas mauuna dun sa distance learning implementation. And nabanggit na nga ni Secretary na ang laki ng paghahanda namin, so malamang masasama yung mga hindi makakaagapay dun sa distance learning. But certainly, before August 24, if we need to have dun sa lalabas, by the way, na school calendar, while August 24 ang yung pag-umpisa ng formal instruction, yung the whole month of August ay kasama na sa class days to be able to do the preparation. Ibig sabihin, orientation, paano, utilizing. So malamang mayroon pang mga remediation activities or interventions during that month kung hindi umabot dito sa Mayo, dahil nga kailangan ng new modes, ng new materials for these new modes. Kahit yung mga assessment tools ay kailangang i-recast in relation to distance learning options.
Sir, sa tuition increase, meron na ba tayong initial data how many schools have applied and were approved to implement tuition increase sa private schools?
Kailangan nating makuha yan sa governance and operations dahil sila ang humingi ng summary ng mga applications sa regions. Ang mga pagtataas ng tuition fee ay nakabatay sa standards ng criteria kung kailangan nilang ipakita yung necessity for the tuition, not just the necessity but where they will use it, ay mga percentages that it will be used for increasing the salaries of teachers and so on. So, pa yan. Hindi pa namin nakukuha. But I think some of the applications were as early as last year. So, it's just a matter of getting this data. Dangan nga lamang kami ay, ibig sabihin, all our focus now is to try to finish the guidance to all our stakeholders in field para mabuksan ng maayos yung darating na school year. But we will ask the field GovOps to already consolidate the reports from the regions on applications for tuition fee increases. Thank you.
How about yung sa senior high school voucher program? Kailan po tayo mag-start ng application for private schools?
Ma'am, about the voucher.
Yes. Ikaw na yung sikanan sumagot.
Opo, thank you ma'am. We will wait for the result of the survey, Ina. Importante kasi na malaman natin yung sinasabi kanina na possible migration of the private school students to the public. That is our expectation, but we still don't know kung ano yung mangyayari. Some will also, and this is of course depend choice ng ating mga parents, no? Kaya nga kami nagbibigay ng ganitong orientation and awareness of what will happen in the learning continuity plan. May mga parents na hindi natin alam ano magiging desisyon. Will they opt for the public schooling system, or baka nga meron pang lumipat sa private school kasi may capacity already na sila for the learning or the online platform. So we do not know, but we will wait until the result of the June enrollment. And then we will have a separate issuance. Kagaya po ng ginagawa natin, marami rin po nakikinig ngayon pala ma'am from the private school. They're giving some feedback in the Facebook comments natin. Hintayin po natin kung ano yung a form of consultation that we are doing. Dito po, lalabas po yung procedure and processing. Ang pinakamaganda yung tanong ni Ina, kailan? Of course, we will have the appropriate time. Probably 2 months before, give us the result muna. And then, isa pa is yung availability of funding. Idagdag ko lang na 1.4 billion of our voucher program was withdrawn by the Department of Budget and Management and was given to the Bayanihan Law Fund. So, isa po yon sa titingnan natin. But, kaka-approve lang ho ng IATF na kayo po yung unang binigyan ng good news ni Secretary. Kailangan din po namin isubmit din ito sa DBM kasi financing the LCP is a great factor nung success or ng implementation natin. Dahil marami tayong gagawin ng mga activities and a lot are already asking sino magpo-provide ng modules, kailan ito magiging available, ano yung mga bagong practices at methodologies na mangyayari. Siyempre, meron po itong equivalent na costing. Yan po yung ginagawa namin ngayon and it will take time kasi una, magre-rearrange or magre-reprogram tayo ng existing natin na pondo. Pangalawa, kung meron hong mga bagong activity dito, papaalam natin to sa Department of Budget and Management. And related to the voucher, kailangan naming malaman ano yung magiging trend. So, bago tayo makapagsabi na open na yung online application, kailangan naming malaman ang mga sagot sa mga components na itong sinabi ko. Pero wag pong mag-alala, kagaya rin ng dati nating sinasabi, pag kayo ay presently voucher recipient na, hindi nyo kailangan mag-apply kasi automatic yan na eligibility ninyo. Ang kailangan lang mag-apply ay yung mga bago. At alam nga natin, ibig sabihin nun, mga bago means from public school, they will go to private school. And we have a new environment. Ganun nga ba ang mangyayari? We will find out after the June enrollment na amin pong gagawin dito sa Department of Education.
Ang clarification lang, 1.4 billion ang tinanggal ng DBM sa voucher program para ilagay sa bayanihan. Tama po ba? That's for 2020. 2021.
2020.
2020 po.
2020 budget.
Yes po.
Hindi naman kasi yan ng Kongreso. Wala na po yung exact amount ngayon niya. So, hindi naman siya dapat worrisome. Ibig sabihin, mayroon kami talaga ng program programa in 2020, nadagdagan to more than 1.4 billion. Sorry lang, wala ako lang nung concrete figure, pero it's bigger than 1.4 billion. Meron pa rin more or less about mga 2 billion na additional funding compared to the original fund. So, dapat yata mga 4 billion yung aming pondo na nadagdag for 2020. Pero kinuha yung 1.4. So more or less about 2 billion is still available as an increase or additional funding for 2020.
Ina, let me just interrupt you for a while lang.
Okay.
There are some comments po from online. Thank you, Deped family, for very informative and insightful press briefing. Some issues and concerns were clarified and reiterated from Loie Lupos. At saka sabi po ni Felina Ilagan, still watching from Naukan, Oriental, Mindoro, ma'am. So, before we proceed po, ma'am, I think may meeting po yung susunod pa. We would like to ask po for your closing statement.
Siguro napakahaba na kasi ng opening statements ko. Dapat wala ng closing statement. May dalawa pa akong meeting. Isa alas 12 sa Executive Secretary, and then another one also with IATF at 1 o'clock. So, nagpapasalamat kami dahil napakalaking bahagi. Communications has always been important. Communications has always been crucial. Natutunan ko ito even before Deped. Sa panahon ng ako ay member ng civil society. Doon yung aming advocacy for social development. Ang press naman ang nagdala, ang communications peoples ang nagdala na wala na isang kusing na bayad, walang bribery involved, lumaki yung issue ng debt because of communications. Ngayon, lalong nagiging importante ang communications dahil sinasabi natin na we are in this new normal na bagong-bagong word na enjoy tayong gamitin. Kasi siyempre, who likes old normal ba? But of course, we recognize that there are many things about old normal which are very useful and which we also don't want to lose and which we want to bring to the new normal. Minsan natatakot tayo, minsan hindi natin alam kung anong gagawin natin. Minsan we feel na hindi natin masosolve itong problems ngayon dahil sobrang dami yung sinasabi natin, yung mga unknowns. Hindi kagaya ng equation sa algebra or a problem in physics. Dapat masosolve mo kung may formula ka. Kung mayroon kang data, mayroon kang big data, then you find the answers. It's not like that because we are going to implement solutions in the framework of our existing administrative system, particularly in the Department of Education. We are trying to solve problems in a environment of very sensitive political and social reactions to whatever government does or does not do. So, kailangan talaga namin ng tulong sa pag-communicate nitong ating programa sa Department of Education because it can always be easily misunderstood. Tulad halimbawa noong August 24, knee-jerk reaction, paano na yan, etc. Yung mga bata, papadala mo sa mga unsafe schools. Ang hindi nila nakita na yung sentence na nagsasabi na ang August 24 can be virtual. Hindi lamang yung ang tinatawag nating face-to-face. No? Sinasabi, ano na yung mga gamit, kailangan ganito, ganyan, wala namang interconnectivity. Ang hindi din nila nakita na sinasabi natin na there are other ways of delivering learning like television. And television has been around for a very long time. Ang mga bago itong mga learning platforms at saka cellphones. And as I said, right now there are more cell phones than humans in the Philippines. Sobrang dami talaga ng mga cellphones. So, second choice yan. Sa TV has always been around. Yung nga lang, it has to be developed in such a way that it is interesting and it is exciting. Kasi there are other television programs which are much more exciting for a child or for a parent. Now, ang nakikita natin na talaga yung walang TV, walang cellphone, which is also difficult to accept, ay ang radyo which has been around for ever so long, panahon pa ng World War. Sinabi ko kanina na yung nag-inspire sa mga Pilipino in World War II na we're under another country, ang words na I shall return. Hindi naman yun sinabi by text, hindi naman sinabi yun sa telebisyon, hindi naman sinabi sa platform, sinabi yun sa radyo. Tsaka yung end ng World War II, hindi rin yun sinabi sa telebisyon. Yung The Eagle has landed, no? Yung sinabi na dumating na yung final stages of the war at that time, no? So radio is around. Ang malaking challenge is to convert and to shape the alternative delivery modes into interesting, into exciting, and into effective ways of transmitting knowledge. And that is where we need your help. We will be holding regular press conferences so we get feedback from you. Now, nag-iisip ako, alam na ninyo naman ang ugali ko. I always think, ano bang istorya nung bata pa kayo at saka nung bata pa ako, which has meaning for us at this time. Siyempre, sino ba sa inyong hindi nakapanood ng Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp? It was the first book I read when I was about 7 or 8 years old. The original English translation of Sir Richard Burton, buong 1001 Nights, no? Anong kinanta ni Lea Salonga doon? A whole new world. Kita nila yung whole new world of wonderful people, of wonders. And then, those of you, pagdating niyo sa college, of course, you are familiar with Shakespeare, no? Yung one of his plays, The Tempest, sabi doon ng bida na si Miranda, yung dinala na siya sa city and she was so impressed and she also talked, ito mas maganda ito, a brave new world. So we are going into a new normal because we are creating a brave new world, and we have to start with the children, to give them courage, to give them initiative, to help them look at problems realistically, and to continually have hope and confidence that we will overcome. So on to the brave new world. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, ma'am. Magkapatuloy pa rin po ang ating press conference. Sabi ni Yolinda Perla, God bless po, Ma'am Secretary. Si Maria Jovita Basilio Simpson, God bless you, our dear Department Secretary for the Enlightenment. Stay healthy po. From Tortugas Elementary School, SDO Balanga City, #NewNormal. Maraming salamat, ma'am. And back to the questions po ng kasamahan natin, si Ina.
Akala ko closing na yung kay ma'am.
Hindi, kasi I have to leave for my next meeting. I'm going to be in a meeting with ES and then afterwards my meeting sa IATF. So kayo nang haharap ng mga lions at lionesses.
Tumayo na ako Brave new world na si
Last
ma'am.
na lang po.
Bye-bye, see you. Oo, pero nandiyan siya, no? Pwede niyong anuhin yung dalawang yan.
Are you brave new world? Nice.
Brave New World. Tempest, basahin ninyo by Shakespeare. Prospero and Miranda ang ano dyan. Oo. Tapos Whole New World ni Aladdin. Pag hindi ninyo nabasa si 1001 Nights, ibalik ko kayo sa high school. Sige po.
Sir, follow up lang po dun sa